Napoleon Hill's surprising insight: why smart people stay broke. Have you ever noticed how some of the smartest people you know are also the most financially stuck? I'm Walt, and today you're about to discover the surprising insight from Napoleon Hill that explains exactly why intelligence alone won't make you wealthy, and what truly does. Most people assume success is about being smarter or having better skills. But here's the unexpected twist. Napoleon Hill found something entirely different. After decades spent studying over 500 of history's wealthiest individuals, he discovered the shocking truth: being smart might actually hold you back from becoming wealthy. Think about it. How many highly intelligent people do you know who are still broke, despite their brilliance? The truth is, the smartest people often struggle the most because they trust logic and intellect more than intuition and action. But what exactly does Napoleon Hill mean by this? And how can you break this pattern and start attracting real wealth into your life? First, let me share a quick story that brings this insight to life perfectly. Early in his career, Napoleon Hill met a brilliant scientist, someone whose inventions should have made him millions. Instead, this scientist lived paycheck to paycheck, deeply frustrated by his constant financial struggles. Why was someone so incredibly smart consistently failing at money? Hill realized something critical. Intelligent people often believe their logical analysis alone can lead to wealth. But money doesn't respond only to logic. It responds to emotion, belief, and decisive action. You see, highly intelligent people are often trapped by their own minds. They overthink decisions, constantly second-guess themselves, and wait endlessly for the perfect opportunity that never arrives. But here's the big secret Napoleon Hill uncovered. Wealthy people don't wait for perfect. They take immediate, imperfect action and adjust as they go. It's not intelligence or talent alone that creates wealth. It's the courage to act decisively even when things are uncertain. Ask yourself, how many incredible ideas have you dismissed because you talked yourself out of them? How much wealth have you missed by hesitating instead of acting? Now here's the shocking truth most smart people ignore. Your mind, while powerful, can also be your biggest enemy if left unchecked. Napoleon Hill warned that intelligence, without emotional control and disciplined action, inevitably leads to overanalysis and paralysis. The smartest people often imagine all the ways something could fail, which stops them from ever starting. But what if there's a way to bypass this trap completely? Imagine if you could train your mind to instinctively see opportunities instead of obstacles. Well, Napoleon Hill discovered exactly how wealthy people do this, and you can start applying it today. Here's the key insight Hill shared privately. Truly wealthy individuals rely more heavily on intuition and emotional intelligence than purely on logical reasoning. They trust their gut, move quickly, and embrace the possibility of mistakes, knowing each step forward, even if imperfect, creates momentum. But how can you practically start trusting your intuition and taking decisive action right now? I'll give you that exact strategy shortly, but first let me ask you, have you ever wondered why highly intelligent people often dismiss intuition as unreliable or risky? It's because they fear being wrong. But Hill revealed a profound truth. Embracing uncertainty is the very essence of wealth creation. Here's a powerful example. Henry Ford, one of Hill's closest studies, wasn't considered exceptionally intelligent by academic standards. Yet Ford built immense wealth by acting decisively, guided more by intuition than analytical thinking. He famously said, "I don't need to know everything. I surround myself with people who do." Ford understood something crucial that many highly intelligent people miss. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to trust your ability to figure things out along the way. Now let's dive deeper. What practical steps can you take today to break free from the trap of overanalysis and hesitation? Napoleon Hill outlined a straightforward method anyone can use immediately to start attracting wealth, even if you have been stuck for years. And here's the best part. You can start seeing results faster than you might think. First, Hill emphasized clearly defining your goal, not vaguely, but precisely. Write down exactly how much money you want to earn, by when, and what you're willing to exchange for it. Why is this so powerful? Because clarity cuts through overthinking. When your goal is vividly clear, Your intuition naturally kicks in, guiding you directly toward wealth opportunities. But there's one more critical step Hill shared, one that turbocharges this entire process. It's something most intelligent people never do, which explains why they remain stuck despite their brilliance. Curious what this powerful step is? Stay tuned, because when I reveal it shortly, you'll finally understand exactly why smart people often stay broke and how you can permanently break that cycle starting today. Most people think if they're smart enough, talented enough, or educated enough, money should naturally flow their way. But as Napoleon Hill shockingly revealed, being smart actually has very little to do with getting rich. In fact, he observed a strange pattern. Many highly intelligent people remain stuck financially their entire lives. So what exactly keeps smart people broke? And if intelligence alone doesn't attract wealth, then what does? I'm Walt, and today I'm going to share Napoleon Hill's surprising insight, something most people have overlooked their whole lives. It turns out there's a hidden mindset secretly sabotaging even the brightest minds from achieving financial success. Stick around, because once you understand this, you'll immediately see why intelligence alone isn't enough, and precisely how you can finally break free. Let me ask you, have you ever known someone who's clearly smart, maybe even brilliant, but still lives paycheck to paycheck, struggling with money year after year? Perhaps you've felt that frustration yourself, knowing you're capable, but wondering why the money doesn't match your intellect. Napoleon Hill found the answer, and here's the uncomfortable truth. Smart people often overestimate the power of knowledge and underestimate the power of action. Think about it for a second. How many brilliant people endlessly analyze, research, and plan, but rarely take meaningful action? Their intelligence becomes their biggest enemy because they're stuck in the endless loop of perfectionism. Napoleon Hill famously stated, "Knowledge is only potential power. It becomes power only when acted upon." The smartest people often assume their knowledge alone guarantees success. But here's the twist. Knowledge without consistent, decisive action is actually worthless. So let's get specific. What kind of action did Napoleon Hill emphasize? Was it massive, risky moves or careful, strategic steps? Surprisingly, it was neither. Hill discovered the wealthy do one thing better than anyone else. They take small, consistent actions daily, rather than waiting for the perfect opportunity. Think about that. What if the real secret to wealth isn't huge leaps forward, but tiny steps taken every single day? Right now, ask yourself honestly, are you guilty of waiting for perfect conditions, perfect ideas, or the perfect moment to act? Because here's another brutally honest insight from Napoleon Hill. Waiting for perfection is the fastest way to stay broke. Wealthy people succeed not because they're smarter, but because they're faster to act on imperfect opportunities. Imagine how quickly your life would change if you stopped overthinking and started taking consistent action today. But maybe you're wondering, okay, Walt, but what if I've tried taking action before and still didn't see results? Well, here's something crucial Hill discovered. Most intelligent people sabotage their results by quitting too soon. They're so used to immediate success in other areas, like academics or their career, that when results aren't instant, they assume it's not working. But wealth building is fundamentally different. It requires something that many smart people struggle with: patience combined with persistence. Here's the fascinating part. Napoleon Hill studied hundreds of millionaires, including Andrew Carnegie and Henry Ford, and noticed a consistent theme. The moment before their greatest success always followed their greatest setbacks. Carnegie faced near bankruptcy multiple times, and Ford's first businesses failed miserably. Yet they never quit because they understood something profound. Temporary defeat is not permanent failure. It's a stepping stone to wealth. Now imagine if the smartest people you know, or even yourself, stop at viewing setbacks as permanent defeats and instead saw them as necessary steps towards success. How much more resilience would you have? How much faster would you bounce back? Napoleon Hill emphasized repeatedly that the single greatest trait shared by the wealthy wasn't intelligence, it was resilience in the face of setbacks. Let me illustrate this clearly with a powerful example. Thomas Edison famously failed over 10,000 times before inventing the light bulb. When asked if he felt like a failure, Edison replied, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison's genius wasn't just intelligence, it was resilience and relentless action. And that's exactly the missing piece that keeps so many smart people broke. Now here's something critical that separates wealthy individuals from merely intelligent ones. Wealthy people understand the immense power of building connections and networks. Napoleon Hill was crystal clear: no one ever became wealthy alone. Highly intelligent people often isolate themselves, believing their knowledge alone is sufficient. But wealth isn't built in isolation. It's created through relationships, connections, and mutually beneficial exchanges. Ask yourself honestly, how intentional are you about building genuine, valuable relationships in your life? Do you actively seek mentors, partners, or communities who can accelerate your growth? Or do you silently believe you can figure everything out alone? Napoleon Hill uncovered that the most financially successful people deliberately surround themselves with other driven, success-oriented individuals. And the results? They accelerate their wealth exponentially through shared opportunities and collaborations. Imagine if you began intentionally surrounding yourself with success-minded people. How rapidly could your financial situation improve? But here's the key. Building connections isn't about networking events or superficial contacts. It's about genuine, reciprocal value exchange. Napoleon Hill said clearly, if you want to achieve greatness, stop asking for permission and start adding value. Now let's quickly address another massive trap that holds smart people back from wealth. It's something Hill called the curse of comfort. Highly intelligent people often settle into safe, comfortable careers or lifestyles because they've achieved enough success to feel secure. But comfort, as appealing as it sounds, can become a dangerous financial trap. It quietly erodes your ambition, discouraging you from seeking growth, challenge, or new opportunities. Ask yourself this: are you currently in your comfort zone financially, professionally, or personally? Because the uncomfortable truth Hill revealed is this: wealth rarely exists in comfort zones. Wealth is attracted to people who consistently step into uncertainty and discomfort, actively pursuing growth. What small step outside your comfort zone could you take today that could dramatically shift your financial trajectory? Finally, Napoleon Hill uncovered one more powerful reason intelligent people often remain broke. They focus primarily on making money rather than creating value. Let me repeat that clearly. True wealth isn't about chasing money. It's about consistently creating and providing value to others. The more value you offer, the more wealth naturally flows back to you. Here's the fascinating part. Hill observed that when you shift your focus from making money to genuinely helping others, wealth inevitably follows. Wait a minute, because money is simply the reflection of value exchange. Highly intelligent people often overlook this simple yet profound truth: chasing money directly rather than attracting it indirectly through value creation. Now ask yourself, how could you start providing genuine value today? It might be in your current career, your own business, or even a small side hustle. Wealth doesn't flow to the smartest person. It flows effortlessly to the one providing consistent, genuine value. And here's the powerful news. Value creation doesn't require genius. It simply requires intentional, consistent effort focused on helping others. Think carefully about everything you've learned so far. Napoleon Hill's shocking insight reveals clearly why smart people often stay broke. They overvalue knowledge, underestimate action, fear imperfection, lack patience, isolate themselves, even avoid discomfort, and chase money directly rather than creating genuine value. So here's my direct challenge to you right now. Pick just one of these powerful insights and commit to changing it today. Take action, despite uncertainty, build intentional relationships, embrace setbacks as stepping stones, step outside your comfort zone, or focus deliberately on creating value. Because when you do, you'll immediately shift from just being smart to finally becoming wealthy. Are you ready to start today?